I'm going to show you how to make the best homemade white bread you've ever eaten in your life. What you're going to start out with is you're going to start out with 3 cups of flour, which I already have in here, 1½ tablespoons of active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of shortening, and you're going to need 2 cups of warm water, at least 100 to 115 degrees. Make sure that you have a thermometer that you can check it, because if you get it too hot, it will kill the yeast, and if you get it too cold, it won't rise. Okay? So what we did was we went ahead and got 3 cups of flour, the 1/2 cup of sugar, and the 1½ tablespoons of yeast in the bowl. We're going to stir it with a pastry cutter. Once you get that all stirred, then you'll want to go ahead and add your teaspoon of salt, and we're going to add our shortening, 1/4 cup of shortening into this, and you are going to just use your pastry cutter or a fork if you don't have a pastry cutter, and blend this in until it kind of has a coarse mill look to it. Which doesn't take very long at all. I make this bread all the time. This particular recipe will make 2 loaves, so you can actually give one to a friend or keep both of them. I really don't recommend freezing the bread. I just don't like bread that's been frozen and then thawed, because the bottoms of it, the crust turns out to be really hard and stuff like that. So once you get your shortening all cut in, like I said, it doesn't take long. Then you're going to add in your water, and my water is at 115 degrees, exactly where it should be. So we're going to go ahead and pour that in, and we're just going to stir it. We're just going to incorporate it until the water has kind of mixed in there to where it's not a horrible mess. Once you get that stirred in a little bit, you're going to take 1 more cup of flour. Now this recipe can take 5 to 5½ cups. So this is 4 cups here. Once you get the 4 cups, stir that in. This is why I like to use the pastry cutter, because it allows you to get the edges, the bottoms, and the sides pretty quick and easy. Okay. So now once we have this all incorporated, it's still going to be a little sticky. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some more flour, and we're just going to lightly flour our surface. Just so it doesn't stick, because we are going to be incorporating at least about another 1/2 cup to a cup of flour into this. Drop that out. And make sure you save your bowl. Do not put it in the sink or anything, because you're going to use the same bowl to let your dough rise. Okay? I'm just going to take all that off. Get that worked out of there. I try to get as much as I can, but sometimes you can't get it all because it is so sticky. Okay, so now once we have it out, this is the time that you can take off your jewelry or whatever, but I don't take my wedding ring off. Okay, so now we're going to set that to the side, and what you're going to do is you're going to take this flour and you're going to pull it over, Just keep doing that until the flour incorporates with your dough. Now you want to knead this for at least 10 minutes. You don't want to do it less than 10 minutes. The more you knead it, the softer the bread is. So you're going to get a pretty good workout by doing this. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and knead this for 10 minutes. And along this time, you're probably going to add more flour each time that you're kneading. You don't want your dough to be sticky, and you don't want it to stick to the board. Okay? So we'll just continue kneading. And like I said, when you start feeling it getting sticky to your fingers, you're going to add some more flour around your board, under your dough, and on top of your dough. Okay? Just keep kneading. For those 10 minutes. And as you're kneading, you're going to bring more flour and you're going to incorporate it into your dough. And when you're kneading is you want to pull up, push back, pull up, push back, pull up, push back. And at the same time, always make sure the bottom is well floured. You may think that it's dry for a little bit, but then after you knead it a little bit longer, you start feeling that moisture. And I will show you at the end what it should be. Whenever you poke your finger or just poke it, it should bounce back. That's when you know that your dough is ready also. But you do not want it to be sticky. And you want to at least go the 10 minutes. Now, you'll know that your bread is ready whenever you punch it and it starts to come back. Okay? So then once that is done, you're going to put it in a well-greased bowl, your same bowl that you used. Don't worry if there's still stuff in the bottom. Just spray your bowl with some olive oil or rub it with butter or whatever. Take your bottom, scrunch it and twist it to where it all stays together. Throw it in your bowl and set it on top of a preheated oven at 355 degrees. Okay? Okay, now that your bread has risen for 1 hour, look at that. You're going to punch it down in the center and you're just going to draw it from the edges until it's flat like that. Then you're going to take your little cutter here and you're just going to cut it in half because, like I said, this will make 2 loaves. Once you get it cut, just form it. And then stick it in your greased loaf pan. I've already done one right here. And just kind of make sure that it's all about the same size throughout so it has an even rise. And you're going to throw it in there, just like that. We're going to do the second pan. I use olive oil spray and just lightly spray it. Even though it has the shortening in there, you want to make sure that your pan is pretty well greased so it doesn't stick. Okay? Got this form going. Now both of them are in the pans. We're going to let these sit for another 30 minutes to rise, and then we'll be right back to finish the rest. Okay, once you have put your dough in your loaf pans, you're going to let these rise for 30 minutes, and these have risen for 30 minutes. And now I'm going to put them in an oven at 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. Like I said in the very beginning, ovens vary, so you want to make sure that you check it. I check mine at about 15 minutes. It really depends on the color of your crust that you want. I like mine golden brown. So we're going to put these in the oven, and then we'll check them whenever they get done cooking. So we'll be right back. Okay, now the bread is done cooking, or done baking, and this is what it turned out like. Now what we're going to do is we are going to brush it with a little butter. What this does is it gives you a nice crust where it's not all flaky and hard.